Hi, everybody. So, change of plans. I was supposed to have Andy, the CEO of Crowd Health, on today, and I have called, I've texted, and I have emailed, and I have not heard back. So, I'm not sure what happened. If there was a time zone problem, um, maybe because I think they're central time zone. I did make sure to post it all over my emails and links and stuff that it was Eastern Standard Time. So I am not sure. Sorry, Rush. I know you're going to sit there and guard your privacy and abide by the community guidelines. And I'm glad that you're doing that. The people that have shown up, I appreciate you for showing up in the chat. If you have questions, I would be happy to answer some questions online and, sort of like see where that goes. I think that, yeah, it's pretty kind of crappy, but it's okay. I'm going to give some grace because I think that he's probably just messed up the time zones or didn't see it. So yeah, Rush, I don't know what you're talking about on Scotch. But yeah, so if you have a question, you can put it in the chat. If I know it, I will answer. I don't know super much about these crowd health insurance companies or anything, or like these crowdfunding health companies. Was really interested in it because a lot of people are looking for freedom from insurance companies. And yeah, so the information remains elusive for us. You know what? Ellen, you were so right. I have not been right since we changed times. And that was like when I was in Austin for the Healing Humanity meetup. I'm telling you what, I have not been right since. I was like, my sleep schedule's all thrown off. Nothing's right. And I'm not sleeping the best. It's like really strange. I don't know why. Just 1 hour shift screws everything up. I'm sure it has to do with hormones. Everything has to do with hormones, apparently. So what is everybody doing this weekend? Anybody doing something really cool? You can say something in the comments. Anybody going to Yuma, Tennessee this weekend to see for the Healing Humanity meetup? I wish I could go to, but my husband's actually in the field with his cadets this weekend. Oh, yuck. Sorting old clothes. Oh, I've got to do that. So I don't know if you are seeing me in a shirt that is absolutely not what I usually wear. I usually wear jeans and a t-shirt, and that is my go-to for everything. I was trying to look a little more professional today. But I have 2 drawers full of t-shirts, and I swear I never get to the bottom of them. So I think that I need to go through those and start sorting them. Carrie's doing some yard work this weekend. There's no yard work here this weekend. Here in North Carolina, it has been nothing but storms. It was really bad a little bit earlier. I was a little bit worried. Scotch could be the cause of the issue today, possibly bourbon. That'll do it. Aw, Char's doing Easter egg hunts with the grandkids. That is fantastic. And the carnivore communicator making keto matzo balls for our cedar. You will have to explain that in the comments because I have no idea what that is. I don't know what matzo balls are, and I don't know what a cedar is unless you're talking about a cedar, Seeder, and then maybe for, I don't know. Let me know. Well, I appreciate that. My hair was all down and curly, and then I went out into the weather and it got frizzy. So it's up in a claw now. So what's at 310, Rush? Oh, you mean bourbon at 310? That's fair. That's fair. So does anybody have any carnivore questions or diet questions? Weather questions? How's the weather where you're at? Passover cedar. Okay. Mm, high in carb. Okay. And you've figured out a way to make a keto version. I love Middle Eastern food and um, Greek food, and finding recipes that are Greek or Mediterranean, any of the Mediterranean, because I mean that Mediterranean is so huge. A lot of the Middle East falls into that, and they just have the best food. But finding good recipes that are like can be like switched out. Yeah, it snowed 4 inches here. It's the weather has been so. They need to stop doing this whole cloud seeding thing and leaving these chemtrails. I swear that's what's going on. Yes, I'm wearing a tin hat right now, tinfoil hat. Oh, you mean you're going to you? Oh, 310 T. Oh, I get it. Thanks, Rush. Thanks. Yes, he is our resident. He is our resident, comedian. That's why we love him. One of the reasons. Oh yeah, I know they are. People keep complaining about the weather. They're like, it's global warming. I'm like, it's not freaking global warming. It is literally like we are doing this to ourselves. People need to stop it. Be realistic. I'm new to carnivore, been eating bad for the past few months. Do you recommend me start cold turkey or wean myself? Okay, so this is a really great question. Actually get this a lot. I'm a rip the band-aid off person. So when I went keto, it was like I cleaned out my pantry, I got rid of all the stuff, and I was like, and I'm keto now. And that's what I did. When I went carnivore, I didn't clean out my pantry because my family wasn't going to do carnivore. But I just was like, okay, and now I'm carnivore, and that's what I do. And so I ripped the band-aid off. However, if you are a person that comes from a background of disordered eating, I find it's better for those people to consider going slowly. So if you are, for example, wanting to go carnivore and you've been eating standard American, get rid of white foods. So no sugars, no grains, no potatoes, and no rice. And then, so you're eating your non-starchy vegetables, your low carb fruits like nuts, some berries, and then you can have some nuts if you can tolerate them. And then very, very meat heavy. So meat heavy keto really. And then you start taking out the vegetables and the fruits and dialing it back and doing that slowly over a few weeks. I mean, even Bart K talks about this, like not everybody can just be like, okay, so I'm going to go carnivore tomorrow and be able to stick to it. It's about what will you adhere to. So if you're like, I can't adhere to carnivore, then go ketogenic. It's still part of the proper human diet spectrum. Doing like meat-based keto and, really just keeping on that track. And then you can taper it down as you need to. Yeah. So, but if you feel like you can cold turkey and you're not dealing with eating disorders, I mean, it can be advantageous. It's a shock to your system a little bit in the beginning, but you can do it. And if you're in the community, Char, I don't know if you're in the PhD community, but if you're in the PhD community, you can always reach out to any of us coaches for help too. I adapt my carnivore biscuits into dumplings for the soup. I'll try to post it in the group. We'll definitely post it on Instagram. Which are you in the PhD community? Carnivore communicator? If you are and you do have a biscuit recipe, please do, because I know that I do Chris Cooking Nashville's biscuits and they're really good. I've seen another. Okay, yeah. So yeah, post it in there. People will absolutely love it. Um, I have not tried to make dumplings with Chris Cooking Nashville's biscuits yet. It's on my to-do list. I did use his recipe to make scones, and that was really, really lovely. But I know that there's another biscuit recipe floating around. So if yours isn't exactly like his, oh, I'm yawning. Sorry, guys. Please put it in the community because some people really enjoy it. Enjoy having the mock-ups. I don't mind mock-ups. So here, like my take, a lot of people are like, why do you need these recipes? Because listen, so I'm a Christian. I believe we were put on this earth, and one of the things that we were given to enjoy was food. We are supposed to enjoy what we eat. And if that means that I have to make a carnivore biscuit because I want something that's like a biscuit, then daggone it, I'm going to make a daggone biscuit. Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, people need to stop judging people. I'm so sick of the judgments in this community lately. It's been really frustrating. Yep. Anything that you need over in the community, there's several of us coaches. There's some pro coaches, and then there's us volunteer coaches. We're the essential coaches. It's because we're volunteer, and we do this as a side gig versus as for like our actual, our life, because I'm in school to become a nurse practitioner. I actually was just hired on by Revero. So I'm going to be one of Revero's health coaches also. So I'll be able to learn from them. So you've got a really good pool of people to help you in that community. And there's a lot of people that are not coaches in that community, but are still very knowledgeable in that community. And, have been doing this for a long time and have some really great insight. So always post stuff in the community, in the main members feed chat. And one of us coaches, like, we do go through and read and try to make sure we hit everybody's questions up. But we also have a lot of members that are going through the same thing, have gone through the same thing, or are very curious or have a lot of knowledge about going through, what you're going through. So they can give insight too. We do aim to please in the group. Thank you, Carrie. We aim to please. You aim to please. Oh, I like that. How do you get hooked up with what? With Revero? You have to sign up. Just sign up with Revero. What do you mean by getting hooked up? I have a sign while we're waiting for Ellen to put in the comments like what she means by hooked up. I have a sign that my grandmother gave me, and it says, "Dear Lord, please put your arm around my shoulder and your hand over my mouth." And yep, that's sometimes I need him to do that because sometimes I have to speak before I think. Right? Oh, getting hooked up with Revero. So if you mean being a coach for them, you have to apply. And it's a very lengthy process. Like you go through, so like you have to take a test. You have to take a very big test. So if you're looking for if you want to be treated by them, you just need to go and go over to Revero's website and sign up and apply. And if you there's not very many people that they turn away, but they have a very specific subset of patients that they are treating. Like they don't treat pregnant patients. They're not set up for that or have a workflow for that right now. So yeah, you can totally be a patient. You can just go in and apply. And if you have something you're trying to work on, and then uh, it's a membership fee, it's really not out of this world. And considering what you get for it, it's very reasonably priced. And um, it's a monthly membership fee. It's a like $199 membership fee. You get to see a provider. They send you like a welcome kit that's got anything you need in it, and you get a coach. And it's a pretty fantastic program over there. So yeah, go over and check it out because it's really reasonably priced. And for what you're getting, the lead doctor is Dr. Eli Jarouge. Fantastic. If you're not following him on socials, you definitely need to. Eli is Elie, and Jarouge is Jarorouge. He's pretty cool. Wild Viking. I like that. Is omega-6 in meats better than in seed oils? I think that it is different because the ratio is correct. So the ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s in your meats are better versus being super omega-6 heavy. And it's animal based and not processed chemically, if that makes sense. Avoiding constipation on carnivore. Sure. So you're going to go one of two ways in the beginning. You're either going to get constipated or you're going to have the runs. And usually it comes down to electrolytes, water, and fat. So those are the three things that you need to make sure you're getting enough of in the beginning on carnivore if you are becoming constipated. Making sure you're getting enough water because you are going to be dehydrated if you are not drinking. You should be sipping in the beginning. Now, Dr. Berry talks about drinking to thirst. Yes, but I would say in the beginning when you're switching from glucose burning to fat burning and you are depleting your glycogen stores, you are also going to be losing water. And when you lose water, there's none in your bowels. Well, there are some in your bowels. So I don't like blanket statements. So there's not going to be as much to pull to the bowels. So making sure you're drinking enough water, making sure you're getting in your electrolytes, especially salt, even if that means you have to put some in your water, your coffee. Some people do that and they like it. If you have to put it in your hand and lick it every time you walk by a salt shaker, whatever it takes, make sure you're salting your foods and getting enough salt and getting enough fat. You will hear a lot of people, especially influencers, and they all talk about like whether you should be doing more fat or more protein. In the beginning, I think you need to be getting adequate protein and ample fat. So heavy on the fat in the beginning and moderate protein. So women, 80 to 120 grams of protein, and then the rest of it should be fat heavy from animals, preferably, and not from adding a bunch to your foods, but from eating 70-30 beef, eating, fattier ribeyes, eating pork belly, eating bacon, because those have a higher fat content. And I hope that helps. Ferritin levels started going up last year. It's finally within range. I don't know why this happened, but now I'm super conscientious of how much red meat I'm eating. Any suggestions? Well, if it's finally within range, then I would continue eating with exactly what you're eating. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Ferritin levels tend to go up when there's acute inflammation in the body. So it's possible that you had an episode last year that was like, maybe you got COVID and it's like, you just had this pattern of inflammation. Maybe it's a possible injection that you may have gotten and we're having a reaction to something like that. There's certain words I can't say online, so just FYI. Maybe it was you got a bacterial infection and that caused it to go up. So ferritin is like an inflammatory marker, not just a level of stored iron, but also an inflammatory marker. So I'd say right now to keep doing what you're doing. And if it does start to go up again, evaluate like how much red meat am I eating? I would evaluate like, have I been sick? Do I have an autoimmune issue that is that flared and now it's my ferritin's up again? That's what I would say. I can't listen, Rush. I don't need $1 million. I don't have $1 million. I need $1 million. I need somebody to pay for my schooling. That's why I'm on this, doing this. Hopefully one day I'll get monetized and I can pay for part of my tuition. You are more than welcome. Also, you are also more than welcome. Waking up around 3 lately, read is common on carnivore. I think this just depends on you. Are you carnivore, like ketogenic carnivore? Or are you just animal based and you don't care if you're in ketosis? So, because that's going to be the difference right there. If you drink a glass of raw whole milk before bed, your blood glucose will spike a little bit, and it will help you sleep, for like, at least from what I understand. I've heard people doing butter too, but I don't know if, like, it's never really worked for me. But I have insomnia, so I can hear my dog is snoring over there, guys, and it's so funny. And so this is common, waking up around 3 a.m. Dr. Berry talks about being biphasic sleep. I think he might have done a video on it. So you could always look up Dr. Berry, YouTube, like sleep, and you might find something, coming up. Do you have Hashimoto's and thyroid cancer? I am so sorry that you have thyroid cancer and Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is no fun. I also have Hashimoto's and desperately trying to get my antibodies within range. Carnivore with some dairy and won't stay in or you do want to stay in ketosis mostly if possible. When you're waking, okay, so then if you're waking up at 3 a.m, is it hard for you to go right back to sleep? That's my question. Is it like you're wide awake at 3 a.m? I mean, because I wake up and like at least once a night to pee. Like, it's going to happen. And I get up, I go right back to bed and fall back to sleep. But if it's like you're waking up and you are wide awake and wired, then you could try pushing your bedtime a little bit too. I don't know what your sleep schedule is like either. Good sleep hygiene schedules are very important, but it could be, if it's always at 3 a.m, something's waking you up. If you are wearing a continuous glucose monitor, you could also look and see if your glucose is spiking right at that time. Because it could be your body being like, it's time to wake up. It's 3 a.m. That song just went through my head. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Sorry. And of course, you're welcome. Anybody else got any questions? I probably won't stay on here the whole hour. It's just really weird that he didn't show up. I really have a feeling that he's going to show up at like 1 o'clock and be like, where are you? And I'm like, I texted, I called, I emailed. Nope. He just texted me back and said he is so sorry. He forgot to put it on his calendar and he wants to reschedule. That's fine. I'll reschedule and it'll be on there, and we shall figure it out. Um, Cindy, oh, you love Keto Mojo? By the way, they have a lifetime warranty, just FYI. Ketones have been 2.0 and 2.4. That is really good. Um, that's actually in a really good range for like therapeutic levels, especially if you have like issues with anxiety and mental health. Um, Nutritional ketosis is anywhere between zero point 0.5 to 3, and getting it above 2 is really good for brain health. So that's what I like to keep mine at, if I can keep it up that way. It's been really good lately, and I've been getting mine up between 2 and 3.4. So I'm really excited about that. And without exogenous ketones, yes, I am sponsored sometimes by an exogenous ketone brand. It is a tool. I don't use that tool very often, sometimes before exams. My daughter does, though, for anxiety, and we're doing some tests on her now because I just slapped a continuous glucose monitor on her. And her glucose, even though she's incredibly high fat ketovore, her blood glucose is not where I thought it would be. It's like staying between like 90 and 110. And I expected it to be a little bit lower, but she's having weird glucose spikes to foods that she shouldn't have spikes to. So she's actually sensitive to some foods that we didn't know about. So, but 2 to 2.4 is really great, especially if your blood glucose is low. Upstairs neighbors have 2 cute dogs that run races frequently at night. I'm so sorry. They might be cute, but that could be very annoying. So, yeah. So, anybody got any other questions? And sorry about that. That he didn't show up. It's okay. He forgot to put it on his calendar, and that is a-okay. I will reschedule. I'm just going to chill and go with the flow. I don't have time to get upset. Seems that butter could be considered an exogenous ketone. Well, sort of, if you really wanted to consider it that, but it has to go through a process. There are some exogenous ketones that are bioidentical that don't have to be converted. It's like bioidentical. You take them, they enter into the bloodstream and don't get broken down and are just ketones, and your body uses them for fuel and for healing. I do prefer bioidenticals. They are a better fuel source. And I'm not a big fan of the salts, and I'm not a big fan of the not a huge fan of the ketone alcohols, like the 1,3-butanidol. I can't say it right. Oh, this is funny. Can you place bets on them? There's a good conversation going on here. And here they come, spinning out the turn. And it's Toby by a nose. I like that. Sure, but I think the terrier beats the dachshund every time. That would be interesting because I've seen dachshund races, and those suckers are fast. So Meta, my daughter, I've used these two before, and like right before an exam. Well, not right before, like an hour before. Give it time to everything to circulate through. I use Original Ketone by American Ketone, and they are pricey. They recommend 10 grams. I don't need 10 grams. My daughter does not need 10 grams. We do half doses, and it works really well for both of us. Do I have a banner that I can put up? I might. Is it that one? Yep, there's that one. So, I don't get paid by them. I just really like them, and I give them feedback, and they gave me a code to give to other people. They are a very, very, very small company. And when I mean small, I mean like very tiny. And um, they are very up and coming. And I do believe that you're going to see them explode in the next couple of years. Um, yeah, they are pricey, but they're worth it. We like it. My daughter comes home and she's like, Mom, my anxiety is spiking right now. And we'll give her, another half dose. And she'll just be chill the rest of the evening. And it really does help a lot. So it's a tool though. I need people to understand it's a tool. It is not a, a crutch. This is something that when you've got your diet dialed in and you're one of those people that it's like, I just can't get my ketones to like a therapeutic level for mental health reasons, and that's what you're really trying, and you've upped the fat and you're doing MCT oil and you're eating carnivore and it's like 80-20, carnivore, and you're not making those ketones, you know we use this to boost hers and it works, but your diet needs to be dialed in first. Always go diet first. I mean, there's some people doing ketones for like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, on top of diet also. And it works really well for them too. Pull that banner down. And the speed, yes, speed and wiener dogs. Have you not seen them, Rush? Have you not seen the dog races where it's wiener dogs? It is so funny. I mean, traditionally greyhounds race, but sometimes they do wiener dog races, and it's so funny. I mean, they're already long hot dogs, like just running. They're so cute. My mom was obsessed with dachshunds. Anybody else got anything? And then I get to go. Like, how do they taste? Oh, are you talking about the ketones, Rush? Are you talking about the ketones, Rush? I figured what you were getting at. I just want you'll look at what? How do they taste, Bex? And you said I'll look. If you're talking about the ketones, they most people like the taste of the ketones. We are a very small subset that we just don't prefer the flavor. But I mix it with a bubbly for my daughter, like flavored seltzer water. Yeah, yeah. So we mix it with a flavored seltzer water, and it's pretty good that way. But if you're doing with like doing it by itself, my son can actually taste the ketones in it, and he's like, I don't like the flavor, so we have to sweeten it more and put it in like really strong berry flavored waters, and then he can drink it. Like he's done it before a race before. He likes it. It helps with his performance. Dealing with inflammation and becoming a former diabetic. I like that. Becoming a former diabetic. I like that. Yeah. Inflammation is hard. Very, very, very hard. And I also, something that, the 13 people that are watching right now. So I am not a carnivore. Sorry, Rush. You're killing me. You'll look for the dog races and yes, the taste of ketones. Okay, fair enough. Um, so I'm I eat a 95% animal based diet, mostly meat and fat, and I do some spices and a little bit of like condiments here and there. But I'm not a carnivore like dogmatic person. I don't believe that every person on the planet needs to be a carnivore. Do I think that every person on the planet needs to eat a whole food, animal based diet? Absolutely. I'm also not going to come out on my channel or in my practice one day or to anybody and be like, guess what? Carnivore heals everything, because it doesn't. That is a I don't want to say a lie, because there are some people that really believe that. Um, but for a small subset of people, it will not always heal everything. It may only heal you to 80 or 90%, and then you have to do something else. And you can't always carnivore harder. Um, and I want to make sure that people know that. I will never tell people don't do pharmaceuticals. Do I like big pharma? No. Do I hope that everybody can one day get out from under big pharma? Yes. Am I going to be upset at you because you're having a stressful time and somebody gave you a medication that's going to help you with your anxiety and stress? No, because everybody sometimes needs those things. We all need a little help sometimes, and I'm never going to like chastise somebody. I'm never going to chastise the person that is doing all the right things and ends up using I think that was lightning behind me, man. Never like that ends up using like a GLP-1 for a short period of time. Like it's a tool in a toolbox. It's not meant to be a crutch. It's not meant to be the only thing. But I'm never going to chastise somebody for doing that. I'm never going to chastise somebody for needing just a little bit of extra help when they've carnivored harder. And I will not chastise people over that. And if that means that people stop following me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because I won't lie and I won't be unethical and I won't be like, yeah, n equals one, exactly. It's important that everybody understands. Like something that really bothered me, I saw on it didn't really bother me. I just kind of snicker every time I see it. Somebody's like, so like how long will it take to shrink my skin? Okay, so guess what? You're not going to shrink all your skin. If you have stretch marks and a roadmap through your skin from being obese or mine was from carrying 15 pounds of baby, like that skin's not going to go away. It's not going to shrink back. You can try to do autophagy all you want. You can fast and fast and fast, and you can fast, and it is not going to go away. The only way for it to go away is to go get sliced and diced and have it removed. And that is up to each absolute individual. If you want to do that, you go and do that. Right now it's not on my menu, but it's like, you know, people will tell you all you need to do is fast and it'll go away. No, honey, it's not how physiology really, really works. So, yeah, so I want people to understand that. I will never be dogmatic. If somebody wants to eat keto and they're doing great on keto and their inflammation is gone on keto, then eat your vegetables if that's what you want. That is up to you. There's some of us that can't, and there are a lot of vegetables I can't eat, even though I love them. Like I really love zucchini, but I have to be very careful with zucchini. I would love to have a regular like carnivore pizza where somebody puts a little bit of tomato sauce on it, but I can't do it. It does not make me feel very good. All right, I missed a whole bunch. Sorry. Um, went off on a tangent. You did the audacious chocolate and like them in coffee, but all ketones are going to be expensive, and especially when they're combined with a salt, um, you're just making a really expensive drink that may or may not do very well. Like in the body. Just gets, it does get frustrating when you've got inflammation and you're trying to heal and you just have to keep keeping on. Yeah, it's about quality of life. And I will never, ever, ever tell somebody. It's like when people are like, no, don't take that Tylenol. I know you're in pain, but don't take that Tylenol. Dude, take a Tylenol. As long as your liver can handle a Tylenol, one Tylenol should be just fine. Like, I'm never going to chastise somebody for trying to, you know, heal themselves. To get more protein, I'll have Equip Prime Protein. Use unsweetened coconut milk, little element, a few drops of iodine in it. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you can tolerate it. Some people can tolerate the coconut milk and some people can't. What I use sometimes here, I have to be careful because my stomach does not like liquid dairy very well. I buy the Fairlife milk and it has half the carbs of regular whole milk because it's been ultra processed. Yes, it is ultra processed. You could do raw milk if you wanted to, if you're brave. I mean, I think raw milk is probably pretty good, but I'm scared to try it, like taste it. So I appreciate that, and I'm trying to keep a very open mind because I'm being trained in Western medicine, but I'm over here on the fringe of this wellness side of the community. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yes, N equals ones. When it says carnivore and the resultant weight loss got me off 10 scripts. Now it takes it. And Rush, for so many people, this is what happens. And it's the majority of people. It's a very small subset of people that don't get off everything. It's just a small subset. But to blanket statement, like somebody came out recently, and this is going to be another one of my soapboxes that was bashing Dr. Barry and Kelly Hogan because they did a video that's like, yeah, some people need a little bit of extra help. And those GLP-1s can be a tool in a toolbox. And daggone, if this one chick did not slam them and bash them and then double down when they were made to take, because she got kicked out of a bunch of groups. People were very, very, very angry at her. And then she doubled down on Instagram. And I'm like, that is not the way to make friends. And that is also like very self-righteous, like, and arrogant because you did this, so everybody else should do this, and it worked for you, so it should work for them. That is wrong. That is a horrible, horrible attitude to have. And I pray that she has a come to Jesus moment. No dairy due to the thyroid. Yeah, I've heard that too. I rarely eat dairy. I do eat butter on occasion, but I don't do a lot of other dairy. My coffee, I drink black. I like black coffee. I actually like the bitter taste of coffee. I'm that weirdo. And so yeah. So I'm off my soapbox pretty much, unless somebody else wants to put me on another rant. I'm sure there's something I can rant about. Anybody else in the comments? If not, I can wrap this up and I'll reschedule in the community and reschedule everywhere else. It's going to be a lot of fixing it. That's okay. Dude, dairy's so good. It is so good, but it's hard to get rid of. Cheese is super hard to get rid of. So, but cheese is one thing that absolutely swells my thyroid. Given all the pharma cases I've worked on, I think those will eventually come off the market. Too much muscle loss. I don't think that they'll come off the market. I think that they will. I think that what's going to happen is they're going to have to reevaluate the dosing, because really the dose makes the poison on those. Because if you like, they refuse to really study the the people that are microdosing, because that's become the trend in these drugs. And they're not even drugs, by the way. They're peptides, which is just a string of amino acids that tells your body to do something. And it's interesting because they don't want people on these low doses. And in fact, they're fighting, like Eli Lilly right now is fighting really hard to get compounders to stop compounding some of these um, at the lower doses, because these other doctors are like, no, 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 no. You cannot put people on 15 milligrams of this and expect them to keep their muscle mass. But it's interesting that when you put it at low doses and eat a protein heavy diet and lift weights, they don't lose muscle mass. And or if they do, it's like minuscule, because every time anybody that loses weight is going to lose um, muscle mass. Anytime you starve, you lose muscle mass. And these people that are on these really high doses, it is completely shutting down their GI system. It is shutting off their hunger signals completely. And they are essentially starving to death. And that's because you're completely shutting everything off. I think that in these microdoses, I do believe there's some people that are broken from the standard American diet and the diseases we have. This is only theories in my head at this point, but I think that we do have people that have the GLP-1 signaling problems, and that pathway I think um, is broken in some people, and this could be a way to turn that back on. I don't know. I just don't know. We don't know enough. We don't know enough about the long-term use. Can people go off of the microdosing? I know that if you're on the high doses, going off is really bad. But staying on is really bad. So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I do not. Somebody was talking about, well, you make more fat cells, like it causes your body to make more fat cells. That was done in a petri dish, like literally in a petri dish, like, and it made cells multiply, which does not mimic the actual human body. So I'm skeptical on that. Um, yeah. So yeah, I don't. Yeah. Thank you. I think I'm talking and maybe I don't make sense. But I just think that we're going to find that um, the lower doses are really where what people need. Oh, Terry, fall down the peptide rabbit hole, and you will not climb out. It is so interesting. They've been studying peptides, and I don't mean like Ozempic and uh, like semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide is the one that's being studied right now. These are all peptides, but there's also a whole bunch of others, which is really super interesting that I'd never heard of before until like I started like looking at GLP-1s and kind of seeing what they are. And it's interesting because we've been studying peptides since at least the 90s, showing the incredible healing capacity of some of these peptides, and it's really interesting. Some of them are banned by like sports because it gives you an advantage, but there's one that a lot of athletes use called BPC 157. It's still got a number. It still has a number, doesn't have a name. There's a reason for it. I'm sure it has like the BPC stands for something, but it's still got the number attached to it. But it has to do with It was isolated out of gastric secretion. You make it on your own, but it's been isolated, and they give it to people with muscle injuries. And athletes have been using this for decades. And it's lots of studies showing that it helps regenerate joint tissue. And it's like, but you can't, why is it not on the market as a pharmaceutical? Let's talk about that. Because you can't patent it. It cannot be patented because your body makes it. So therefore, nobody cares because it can't become a drug and pharmaceutical companies cannot make money off of it. Don't ask me how they're getting it. That's a whole other rabbit hole we're not talking about. I don't want to get my channel shut down. First extended fast, I did. My ketones went up to 8. I felt great. Was a bit cautious per the Keto Mojo message. Yes, especially if you have, if you are diabetic and you went up to 8, I would try to keep it 5 and below if you're still having high blood glucose numbers. Do collagen peptides fall into this category? It does. That's the thing, is that collagen peptides fall into this category too. And there are people, I remember this a couple of years ago, people were talking about how collagen peptides were a waste of money because they get broken down. Because all these peptides, let's say you did want to do semaglutide orally. It gets broken down so fast by gastric secretions that very, very little ever hits your body and gets into your bloodstream. However, when you inject them, obviously you will get them. Collagen peptides, they were putting that into that category, that it got broken down by gastric secretions. However, collagen peptides have a remarkable ability to make it through the gastric secretions, and they can actually be beneficial. I just saw Dr. Ben Bickman. If you go and you look on YouTube, I don't know, because everybody in our community really loves him. Ben Bickman peptides on YouTube. He does a metabolic classroom thing on peptides, and he talks about BPC 157 and TB 500. He calls it something else. And talks about collagen peptides and the remarkable things that collagen peptides could do. So it might be worth us older women, as we get older and get closer to menopause and past menopause, to start thinking about a collagen peptide. And there's some really great brands out there. I think Equip has one. Further Foods has some great collagen peptides. Yeah, it does, doesn't it though? It does wonders for like skin and nails. Like, it really does help strengthen nails. Like, if they've known that for years, and then somebody comes out and says, no, they don't work. But people have been taking collagen for years. Just like all other natural modalities, they only push what brings in profits. Abso-freaking-lutely. And what gets me is, this is funny, if you don't know where the peptides like semaglutide came from, which is Ozempic and Wegovy, and then like tirzepatide, which came from, I don't know, that's Eli Lilly. Yeah, Eli Lilly. They were discovered in a Gila monster. I mean, it's a natural peptide from a Gila monster, and that's how they found it. So yeah, if you can't, of course they've made a way to synthesize it and patent it, but it's interesting right now because there's a whole fight on peptides going on right now. But it is interesting, and I've seen studies where Nick Norwitz did a study, he didn't do a study. He looked at a study on his channel and talking about the peptides and talking about the different things that it's being used for, and it's showing promise in brain inflammation. It's in like systemic inflammation. There's some pathway that it messes with in the brain, and I don't mean messes with in a bad way, but like that it triggers that shuts down inflammation in some people. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's more to learn about these. I am cautiously optimistic that they will be beneficial to the right people. And I think that that is my cautious tale, is the right people. Like, I don't think that your neighbor, Sarah, who is menopausal and needs to lose 10 pounds because she's tired of having the menopausal pooch, she does not need to go on Ozempic. Hey, we all lived on Knox gelatin back in those days. All of us. My grandmother always had Jello. We made Knox blocks all the time. They only push what brings it a profit because it is a company. Um, well, yeah, but you can't. Yeah, and it'll never be BPC 157. That one will never be FDA approved. There's just nobody that's going to put that much money into it. The studies are there that prove that it's like efficacious and that it shuts down a pathological inflammatory process while triggering tissue building, including um like in joints and stuff that have been damaged. Like, it actually helps repair the tissues and the ligaments and the tendons. They have legit scientific studies showing this, but right now everything is considered a research peptide. So if you take it, you take it at your own risk. It is not FDA approved, but athletes have been using it for decades. Jello is delicious. And no, I have not made electrolyte Jello yet. I don't know if I would like electrolyte Jello, but what I have considered doing, and I have not done it yet, but I've considered doing, is we do buy like the flavored LaCroix, and I've considered making Jello with beef gelatin out of like one of the LaCroix. I haven't done put it in my ice cream. I make like real ice cream I have an ice cream maker. Um, and my ice cream, I will tell everybody my ice cream recipe. Somebody likes to steal my ice cream recipes. But it's free to the world. It's like, depending on how much you're making, you use half heavy cream, half of half and half, or Fairlife whole milk. You use allulose and a dash of stevia to taste. And I put about 2 tablespoons of vanilla because I love vanilla. And I put it in the ice cream maker, and that's my ice cream. I do every now and then. My most recent one was putting a couple drops of peppermint oil in it with some Goals chocolate chips. If you do not know who Goals are, if you do not know who Goals is, I'll type it in the comments how you spell it. They are a chocolate company. They are new on the market, and daggone, they are fantastic. They use allulose. They don't use stevia. They don't use erythritol. It's the first chocolate company I have seen that doesn't use erythritol, and they are fantastic. And very sweet company. And I don't mean sweet as in like taste sweet. No eggs. So no eggs in my ice cream. So what I do, sometimes I'll make custard. So if you put eggs in your ice cream, it's considered a custard. Um, what I will do sometimes is do a cooked custard ice cream, where you bring the liquid up to 120 on the stove, slowly, very slowly, And then you take about 8 egg yolks only, and I'll take a quarter of a cup of that liquid and I'll scramble it into that, those egg yolks. And then I will slowly pour that into the heated mixture and bring that to 120 for about 3 minutes. And that is considered pasteurization. And you have to keep it at 120 though, because if it goes too high, you'll cook the yolks, and you're not trying to cook the yolks. And then you can put that in your ice cream maker. It just takes a little more time. I do not strain it. It does not need to be strained. That's for people that are snobbish. I can post it. I think I have it somewhere anyway. But yeah, I can go find it. Do you? Okay, so I haven't done this yet. I have not. I've always cooked it. I mean, I guess I could not cook it. I mean, shoot, I make mayonnaise and not cook it. So, yeah. Yeah, I can throw it in there. Oh, oh, it's not beans. So, it does have espresso beans in it, but it's a little disc. They come in little cans, and it's like a layers of chocolate discs. And the espresso ones, um, it's a little disc of dark chocolate, and it's got like 4 or 5 little espresso beans in it. And they are fantastic. If you have an addiction to chocolate or sweet stuff, don't get them. Just don't. They're so, 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 so good. Yes, they're so good. Never cooked it once. The eggs are clean. I'm clean. My kitchen is clean. Well, I mean, yeah. I just haven't tried it yet. Yeah, we know. We know you, Rush. And I mean that in a loving way. We love you dearly. You make it fun. You make life fun over in the, yeah. Gives it a texture. Okay. Gelatin gives it a texture sort of like tapioca. I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it. You did you stop getting, you talking about, were you getting the Goals chocolate bean or espresso chocolate? That company came across, and I was like, they have a pistachio one that my husband really likes. I mean, we don't sit and eat chocolate all day, every day. I barely eat them. Yes, this company is fantastic. I tried to be an affiliate, and they never got back to me. I'm not that popular, so like they want people with like tens of thousands of followers, I guess. I'm not that big. Like I'm not here to be a super influencer. I'm here to spread the word that changing your diet can actually change your life, and hopefully be a nurse practitioner one day. And so I can help patients make smart, choices. I haven't tried that one. We buy, I buy the chocolate chips, um, to put in stuff, to put in my ice cream. I make mint chocolate chip ice cream. Um, and we have the dark chocolate. My daughter likes the milk chocolate, so she's allowed to have one of those in her lunch as a treat. And then we have the pistachio and that's my husband's, pistachios. As much as I love them, they don't love me back. Um, and the coffee bean ones, yep. Yeah, they're pretty amazing over there. So, well, guys, it is 1:20. I am going to get off here and get ready and do some studying. I am doing 2 classes this semester. I'm retaking pharmacology, not because I failed it, but because my last one did not transfer to my new university. So pray for me. I need it. And doing psychiatric or psychiatry for the APRN. So that is super fun also. I hate psych. Just saying it. I don't like psych. Um, so I will be doing a lot of studying this afternoon. And then my husband is taking the family out to see a movie. So we are going to go see Angel Studios' King of Kings tonight. So we're excited about that. Um, and yeah, so I will repost, I will reschedule with Andy, the CEO, and we will see what happens. And yeah, so I'll try to be a little bit better with communicating with him, and maybe we can make sure we've got, maybe I'll do a calendar invite so it will invite to his calendar. Happy studying. I will never be happy studying psychology ever. Pharmacology is not bad. It's just a lot, but psych never makes me happy, which is weird, right? Because it should make you happy because it's psychology. So haha, psych joke. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Be safe, and I will see you on the next live stream, guys. Bye.